Hello. So today we are going to be reacting to some jobs that I have come across, recent restaurant IT jobs that I undertook. I have myself, I'm Stina. I am from F3 Technologies. I am with my friend Diane today. We are both going to just kind of react to some photos of some recent jobs, and we're going to comment on maybe some quick fixes that we come across.
Yeah, so again, my name is Diane. We're both technicians with F3. Basically, what we do is we go into restaurants, we install both their network and their POS, we give them support, and then we also troubleshoot if anything does come up.
So where we are going to begin with image 4 is going to reference what I was shown as their downstairs networking rack. This downstairs networking rack was part 1 of 2. There was an additional upstairs networking rack that was in existence. I never had eyes or access to this upstairs rack. They had an on-site tech that was there working on creating a connection between these two racks. This one that he was actually trying to gain connection with was a fiber optic cable, and that is not something that ultimately was going to work, and so he had to redo it. So this was a really big job. I basically just took a quick snap of what I was walking into. There were not existing hardware runs all the way there, so not all of it was site ready. But this was a good opportunity to point out that those things are definitely some site readiness preparations that are on the customer side. But additionally, if they have that local tech, they absolutely should have it on site too. Just additional hands and eyes on site, especially if they know where the lay of the land is, right?
You're right. So how did that conversation come up that whenever you found out that they just weren't site ready?
Yeah, so this one was a really big site. It was ultimately 3 restaurants under one account. Things had to be rearranged for how things were actually going to be laid out. Um, Conversating over the phone about what things are going on site is different than someone having eyes on site and seeing like, oh, there's a door completely here, things are really kind of separate. Things were kind of still being worked out in this scenario, and they just really needed something active in one portion of their restaurant. So there was some priority set to different portions over other things. With this guy, we prioritized functionality of one restaurant, like I said, but there was still a lot to be determined, and so I ultimately did go back out to that site. And that actually is going to come up with images 5 and 6 from our thread there, Diane. These were the common problems that I actually walked into after this connection to the 2 different racks was connected. So I did a plug and play setup, which is actually the rest of the photos that we're going to go over here in just a little bit. With their plug and play, I set up the other portions of the restaurant that weren't necessarily in function use yet, but then the rest of it we had to prioritize to make functional, right? But when I came back to then fix these issues, these were the issues that I found. Images 5, their switch to the left portion of their kitchen was simply unplugged from power. And in image 6, they had a network loop, and there is a bunch of cables there, as you see, that it is going to get a little spaghetti hairy, if you will.
Yeah, especially with that many cables, it's really hard to be able to know what's plugged in and what's not.
Absolutely. And the network loop that was created on the right side of their kitchen was just from an extra cable that was not being used. So it absolutely just needed to be removed, and things were cleaned up real quick in the kitchen. They were getting duplicate orders. They were not getting orders. And on the left side of their kitchen, with the switch not having power, they had nothing coming in, of course, right? So yeah.
So how long did it take for you to realize that that switch wasn't plugged in?
Thankfully, that switch, let's go back to my photo here. In image 5, that is the one on the right. On the one on the left, it was the only thing dangling. Literally, the power cable was just dangling there. It was a quick fix walking up. I actually saw that before I saw the switch, so it was kind of follow the breadcrumbs, if you will. But thankfully, they are quick fixes like that. Like, I mean, you need to make sure you have data to it for one, and you need to make sure you have your power in, right?
Exactly. Power is a big thing.
Yeah. All right. So plug and play situation. They would like to have it be enabled where the device can be moved, right? So from when we do our initial installation, we make it completely functional. We fully test it. It's ready to go. It's normally sitting where it's going to live. In the case of a plug and play, maybe there's some construction going on, not necessarily hard hat, right? But maybe the counter is getting replaced. Maybe they have to drill holes, or maybe there's not an existing data or power outlet that is able to be used where we need to install it. So in this case, we are able to do an install with a plug and play type of setup where we will install wherever we are able to get data and power set up. We fully install all updates, fully test, fully enable EMV, do the full work through of fully making sure that it's fully operational functional. And then we will label everything very clearly so that it can be plug and played where it needs to be moved. So when I finish with my install, it is normally wrapped up nice and covered with some plastic so that there ain't any dust or paint getting on it. I keep everything connected as much as possible so that when they are able to move it to the location that it is going to live, they are able to just plug it in and play. They are able to then smooth sail and just go into servicing, and that there's no installation process other than the plugging in portion. So it is plug and play. So with this plug and play situation, I have some quick reference photos. This is for in the situation where you need this installation kind of to happen. The customer was like, this date is the only time we can make it work. It's kind of do or die at this point. We need it in. Maybe there's construction going on, not necessarily hard hat construction, but in the point where when we wrap it up, we kind of want to cover it with some plastic perhaps. So I have some pictures for reference to show, like we set it all the way up. We make sure that it's fully functional. We see your menu. We've tested it. Card reader works. Cash drawer would open. Referencing images 3 and images 2. These guys are just of the 2 terminals that were at a restaurant that was not yet open. They got a little delayed from some of the preparation for opening a brand new restaurant, right? That's a really big project, and things came up. So I was there still trying to help them get ready for when they were able to open. So I was doing a plug and play situation. This was where I set up 3 terminals. The one in image 3 you can see behind it, that guy was already taken care of. They had a main bar and then 2 other terminals that they wanted to use identically, and they weren't yet determined where they were actually going to sit. So a more specific device name like we would normally help reference of where it's at and what it's doing was not necessarily ready to be played with. So it was POS 1 and POS 2 today for that job. One of the things that we do to confirm connectivity is we take a picture of the device hub to show everything is online, everything is connected to the correct network. If it's Toast managed, to the Toast network, and if it's self-managed, of course, it'll run a different scheme. But we confirm connectivity completely before anything gets unplugged so that when they are ready to plug it in, maybe they had to unplug even the power, because they're don't even have a plate on the wall for the outlet, right? When they plug it in, it's plug and play, meaning they plug it in, they turn it on, and it's ready for them to run with.
Yeah, especially with those plug and plays, it's really important to make sure that they're on the network.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Running through all of the updates and everything to make sure that they don't get stuck having anything happen when they go to turn it on, and that it's really actually ready to use. So we fully make sure it's tested. In the last referencing photos here, image 7 shows the hole in the wall that I literally had to use for connection to data and power. In this instance, you see the power outlet underneath. I think I only had 2 to actually work with, and the data was right out of that wall. Fortunately, Toast was managing it, so they sent a switch, so I was able to use that one connection to gain all connection, but 2 power outlets kind of also limits my my own power extender to go into one, right? But
yeah, you can really tell that they're still under construction and everything.
Yeah. So what I was doing for them in this case, in image 8, I kept the cash drawers in their plastic. I kept the keys inside of it so that if they did rip it off, because it's plastic, you want to throw it away. That's where the important parts are, right? So I took care of those to make that a easy throwaway plastic grab. You can see the documents. I sat on top of it, all the toast documents, because I wanted to keep everything in the boxes, so I just kept all the paper
Yeah.
together there for them.
Especially with those plug and plays, like after unboxing everything, like it's really easy for things to get lost. So being able to just kind of group everything together, I'm pretty sure that really helped out.
Absolutely. I read through completely with him what I was leaving him with. In image 9, you can see I did just what you were talking about, keeping everything together. I even coiled the power cable, zip tied it, put it in with the bag that it was going with device wise. I labeled the devices 1 and 2, which we can also see further on the terminal and on image 10 on the KDS screens. I wanted
Okay.
it to be really user friendly for when they had to take
Yeah.
everything apart and put it up, so it was very clear. Um,
Yeah.
when there's more determination of, like, knowing what something is, I'll label everything that regard as well. Bar printer 1, if that's what they're using it for. Trying to help it out. It is very user friendly. It's color coded, and I leave everything as plugged in as much as possible, right, for them. Otherwise, the last part here for this, that's plug and play, image 12, shows what their actual routing equipment was going to be left like. I kept everything in a box. The access point, you can see, has the cable
The
connected, because
cables.
sometimes that port can be a little confusing with the two there, right? Um, yeah, and lastly, image 13 is all of the equipment there, all tucked up at the end, up off of the counter with the mounting hardware underneath for each one, labeled. um, yeah,
Yeah, especially with those plug and plays, like especially whenever like they don't know where everything is going, those labels are like super important too. Just so like they can know what's what and what's going where with what.
yeah,
So being able to like just label and just being able for them, it makes it a lot easier to be able to put things together whenever like let's say we're not able to like go out or anything. Like those labels really help put them everything together.
absolutely. Um, I like it when it's very straight cut, clear where something's going for them, to where they're not contacting Toast again, like, what did my tech do, kind of thing. Like, I want it to be very straightforward. I always walk through the customer where everything is for their items, so that they see what goes with what. I
Yeah,
like to make sure that they feel good about how it's being left as
exactly.
well before anybody leaves. Um,
Exactly.
and any
Yeah,
questions, of course.
exactly. Communication's a really big thing, especially with those jobs like that. Just so that way they can have like a peace of mind and just like at least an idea of everything. Like being able to communicate with that, being able to like make sure that they understand stuff like that too.
Right? Because I feel like in this case, when they've got all these other things going on, this is going to be the last thing they think about, very last minute. Like, they told me it was plug and play, so we really want it to be plug and play for them as much as possible, down to the power label as well being labeled, right? So um, these are really fun to do. I like to see it all set up, because it's sometimes when you set it up like this, you can have all your screens kind of in a row, and you feel fun pushing all your buttons in succession of each other. You're not running over 3 floors for two different bars, in a back office and whatever, where all these other devices could be. These ones are really fun to do, because you're pushing all the buttons all at once when you're doing the
You have
setup.
like 10 screens like laid out in a row.
Yes. Same thing with the handhelds, when you're able to do that too. It's really fun to set those all up together. It's a lot of button pushing.
So then at the end, because I know you said that they had another IT person on site, were you able to communicate with him, like just kind of where everything goes and like the access
Absolutely.
points and the mounting and everything?
Absolutely. When I was coming back out for the second time to resolve some of these issues, one of the things that didn't happen when the connection was made between the upstairs and downstairs rack, he didn't power cycle turn off, and how Toast likes to be plugged in one at a time, that didn't happen. So I did a full reset of their whole network section, and that as well also cleared all up their issues. So
Wow, so even
that is
some
a very
networking
big thing,
troubleshoot.
actually. Yeah. Um, it just needed a full reset. It needed to be turned off, turned on, and plugged in, establishing connection to devices one at a time, so that it didn't get too hairy all at once, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he did not do the fiber optic. He replaced all the cabling with Ethernet cables, as Toast would like, and then everything from there after the reset was a smooth sailing. So that was um, not the first solution that you would think you would need, because there was a lot of other issues, right? Like the power to the switch was off, there was a loop, and things for a while after that was running smooth. But it ultimately, when I talked to their tech and he told me he replaced those cables, that's what we came to the agreement of needed to happen. So we were actually in service. This was a post live install, if you will. So we had to give them a moment to reset, and then they came back pretty strong. But they were a good team to handle it. They were well underway working outside of it, right? But they knew that's not how it was meant to be. So they were ready to have someone come in and straighten it out.
Wow. Yeah, and honestly, that's really nice. It sounds like they were able to get everything smoothed out and working.
Absolutely. So by the end of our appointment, it was then just kind of fine-tooth combing things, if you will, with their menu and making it look prettier and things. So it was a well-rounded appointment, quick fixes, making sure that they also know, hey, if this comes unplugged, let's put this in a different place maybe. Let's always keep an eye on making sure that power is in there. If there's no lights, there's no power for one too. So it was a good learning moment for everybody as well. Yeah, the network reset was the really biggest thing that had to happen, and because there were so many devices, that was the restaurant that had 3 different sections technically. It did take a full 30 minutes for everything to be off but online, but of course we prioritized the section they were using.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you like more of this content, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to contact us for more information, email info@f3tech.io.